Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the time-travelling toy collector, and this is the Takara Tomy Hasbro Transformers Studio Series 86 12 Starscream, but not any old Starscream. This is Coronation Starscream, and as ever, Studio Series 86 figures come with a backdrop diorama, and we can see it is the Decepticon throne room. I'll just move poor old Starscream out of the way, and there we have the Decepticon throne, which is very, very nice. We have the full throne there on the backdrop, but here we have this purple Decepticon throne. Wouldn't look out of place on board the Nemesis, let's say. Decepticon logo there at the back, facility for him to sit on, which we'll get round to, and space at the back for you to attach the various components. Now, this is a leader class figure, and it's really, to be honest, a leader class figure because it has these alternate components. So we've got the throne there that we've identified. We've also got these nifty little shoulder epaulets, if you like, from the Coronation of Starscream, because it's the special Coronation version as it appeared in the movie. That comes with additional null rays for attachment via those doodahs. You get this crown, because you can't have a coronation without a crown, as we all know. And of course the wonderful cape, which is really beautifully designed because you've either got it in this format or you can open it out and you can adjust it slightly. And we'll play with that in a little bit. So those are the accessories. People have been reviewing this figure for ages, so if you're someone who really wants to focus in on those accessories, you absolutely can. And you can see MGo's review, Prime vs. Prime's review. I dare say there's tons of others as well, some who you can just find from a search. I'm not going to go down that route because frankly that route's been done to death. So I'm going to do what I'm interested in really is the quality of this figure. So again, the last time I had a Starscream figure, it was the G1 Starscream figure, which of course, for those of you familiar with G1 knows it had none of this articulation, very little of this level of surface detailing. Now, I know there's been some criticism of this figure, and the main reason that this figure has received criticism is due to the fact that it's, in essence, a slightly redecoed reissue of, I think it's the Earthrise, War for Cybertron Earthrise Starscream. And I can get why people would be disappointed and cross about that. But part of the issue, I think, is that the War for Cybertron range, particularly the Earthrise stuff, started to get very close to G1 likenesses. In fact, people were very excited and delighted with the level of G1-esque likenesses that they were in fact seeing. So I think it makes business sense for this to be the mould they used, but with a more screen-accurate colour scheme, which is what ultimately they've gone for here, with the changes to the blue and some of the deco that they've put on the figure. And so there you go. So that's why they've done that. And then the price point for leader class, of course, is all the extra plastic, because it's not additional engineering in the figure. I think we can accept that. The figure itself is giving us, I'm sure, the exact same engineering as we saw in Earthrise. I never owned the Earthrise Starscream, so I'm fortunate in that position to not be tainted by that unfortunate vibe. So I'm not resentful in any way, shape or form of having to, for completeness sake, essentially repurchase the same figure, because for me it's not the same figure, because I don't have the other one. There are some, you can see some gapping here, which I'm not sure is intentional. I've never transformed him. As with all of my Transformer reviews, the first time I will transform them is off camera, in between doing the various modes for yourselves. But I really do just want to take a minute to say that the detailing is really good. I mean, it's a shame that we're seeing some of the official stamps there. That's disappointing. But otherwise, the legs are really nicely filled in from the front view. Same with the arms. The individual, well, not the individual, sorry, but the hands have got fingers on a single sort of articulation, and they're kind of pre-molded to look a little bit interesting. They're not just in a fist. The chest is beautifully produced there, I think, and again we can see straight away the level of engineering and detailing that goes into this mold, whether it's the Studio Series 86 or it's the Earthrise. Far surpasses what we had, that sort of brick that we had as a child, because you've got all the articulation you could want. It's a fully posable action figure to all intents and purposes. Let's take a look at the back. You do of course have sort of standard Starscream Seeker back kibble in terms of the nose cone. So there are some traits that are carried forward, but again, lots of detailing there on the back, and that sense of it being quite a filled out figure follows right through. There's no gapping, there's no sense of wasted space. Personally for me, because I'm a bit old school, I'm disappointed, I'm routinely disappointed I suppose a bit, that they don't have the Decepticon logos in such a way that look like they wear them with pride. I know that's a tricky spot with Starscream. Yes, they're on the wings, but they're inverted, so they're not, they're upside down. So yeah, great. I would have liked somehow to have had the Decepticon logo sort of visible, just to show his allegiance. I know they're visible on the wings. I just wish they were the right way up, without having to sort of mistransform him, for example, which I'm not going to do. So I really like this figure. I should probably get that put on a t-shirt, but so far I've not really come across, I'm just trying to remember, but I don't think I've come across a single Studio Series 86 figure that I've not liked. The only one I've not purchased deliberelately was the Sweep, because it was just essentially a retool, not even a full retool, it's just a recolouring, and the retooling of the hands the opposite way around, of Scourge within a couple of figures of itself, which I just think was badly timed and a bad show. So I didn't bother with that because I've got Scourge, so I don't need the Sweeps, and I strongly suspect at some point not too far in the future they will become a slightly more readily available for a better price point. The other one I've missed is Cliffjumper, because he was released, don't know how I missed this, but he was released in a different format. He was released as a Bumblebee Buzzworthy edition, and it completely passed me by, so I didn't, not through choice, but I haven't been able to get one. So if anyone spots one, let me know where it is, because I might be in the market for it, because I don't like an incomplete collection, as you know. So anyway, really like this figure. Really love the fact that it comes with these movie related accessories. We'll just open the skirt slightly. I'm going to try, I've not done this yet, so I'm hoping it'll work. So I'm going to put him into a seating position, although it doesn't look like you can really get his legs all that far forwards, which is interesting. I don't know whether that's my copy. I'm trying to see what the obstruction is, but I can't. And you know what, I'm always reluctant to be a bit too forceful, because I just hear the plastic go crack. So let's just see if he fits like that, and I'll be prepared for the disappointment when he doesn't, obviously. It might be all right. Actually, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's really nice. That's a very nice fit, and it's great that it also fits on that diorama. I'll pull out slightly more actually, so you can see it in the diorama itself. If you position it kind of just right, you can make the throne look like it's an extension of that piece, even though the throne is sort of incorporated into the artwork, which is a strange choice considering they're giving you the throne. Just the backdrop would have been good, but I guess it's because they're using art from the movie, the animated movie, so therefore the throne is there. It's part and parcel of it. Talking about the artwork, just quickly drop the box in for a second, because I'm conscious I haven't. The artwork on the front of the box, again, as we expect, absolutely gorgeous. So Transformers the movie logo, it's Coronation Starscream, which is probably, in this instance, tastier than Coronation chicken, although I wouldn't really want to eat it. Yeah, but Star Wars the movie, Studio Series 86, figure 12. And there's the Transformers logo, and as I said before, some really great artwork. They never let us down on the artwork front. More Starscream on the side, and here's the product shots at the back, just so you've got sight of them. There's Starscream all dolled up in his gear, in jet mode, the accessories, the backdrop that's included, blah blah blah. So everything you need to know, everything you need to see, all in one place. Fantastic. Right, so let's get that out of the way. That's my obligatory box walk through. So yeah, lovely figure, very nice to handle, and I really do like the color scheme. As I say, he's I've not really done much in terms of posing him, etc, etc, but the figure itself does feel very solid, which I very much appreciate and like. You can pose him rather well, as I knock the camera in my vain efforts to try and make him look even more interesting. So yeah, he's very easy to pose and hold his positions. I'm going to just work a little bit of televisual magic and skip ahead to where I've put on all of his bits and pieces so you can see what he looks like when he's all ready for his coronation. And as if by magic, here he is all dolled up with nowhere to go. Apologies, that's bad comedy. So as you can see, we've got these wonderful little shoulder pieces, the sort of epaulets. You've got the cape that swooshes around on the back. There's a port there which enables him to have that attached. You've got a bit of maneuverability with it. Excuse me. But the main attraction is really these rather innovative approach to these epaulets, because they tag it, they peg in, and then you've also got this the null ray section which you can then position and maneuver as you will. I'm not 100% enamored with the crown. It doesn't really sit very well, and it's it's a little bit of a nuisance. And if I bring the cape in just so it can sort of, you can look like a little bit more Super Starscream. That feels like it's popped up a bit further than I would have liked. We can manoeuvre his head around a bit, so hopefully you can see the crown on his head a bit more. Might zoom in a tad there, just so you can really get the full effect of that. But yeah, apologies, that puts his face a bit in the dark with the crown on. So it looks okay. It looks like the character from the film, which is, kind of what we're here for. And these additional bits, much as we saw in the box art, is what this figure's about. It's Starscream from his coronation. So these coronation bits are the pieces that make the figure what it is, and put the figure at the price point the figure is at, whether we like it or whether we don't. And of course, that's really where you come in, because if you don't like it, absolutely don't buy it. And I can really understand why you wouldn't, even if you're a fan of the film and the Studio Series 86 range. I can totally understand why you wouldn't, if you'd already got the Earthrise figure. But as I say, I'm lucky enough to have not been put into that position. So for me, this was a legitimate no-brainer. Very easy to attach, really nice and straightforward. No trickery to it, and actually quite effective and very nicely posable along with the rest of the figure. So it does lend added value, I think, as does the throne and the backdrop. So yeah, Studio Series 86, still a winner for me. It's still a winner for me. So anyway, I'm now going to transform him up into his jet mode, just for the sake of completeness. And I'll be right back. And here we have Starscream all transformed up into his jet mode. And again, I'll be honest, there was a couple of hairy moments. The chest was quite stiff, so there's a point in doing the transformation where you have to separate the front part of the chest from the rest of the torso, and arguably the main part of the fuselage, and it splits almost, well, in half and away from itself. And it didn't really want to do that for me, so that was a little bit hair-raising. And then it did, so everything was okay in the end. But otherwise, a very straightforward transformation, very, very effortless, some really nice engineering. Something I've noticed across the Transformers figures we've been looking at and that I've acquired recently, and I find there's sort of trends in the engineering that's deployed, and at the moment the trends that I'm tending to find is around the double hinge collapse. So, for example, the legs and the arms on this figure deploy the current trick du jour, which is this sort of double hinge collapse, and of course double hinge expansion when you go back into robot mode, which is great and absolutely fine and how it should be, because, you know, I think there's a lot of learning, and kids who get to work with these and play with these gets to, you know, explore how engineering traits can work and support and be used in numerous applications. So I'm all here for that. So I've been giving you a couple of little sort of views of Starscream. He's actually quite lightweight. I kind of wish he was heavier, but by the same token, I like how he is. I love the upper body design. I was very pleased actually to be able to say that whilst I was putting him together, I was able to do it away from the instructions. I figured it out for myself. But yeah, love that detailing on the top. Love the detailing in the cockpit. Love the colour scheme. There's the underside. There's that troublesome torso that gave me some grief. But otherwise, it tidies up pretty nicely. You've got sort of feet thrust, which is another common theme, but it always has been. Not much you can do about that. The null ray is attaching under his wings. I'm guessing we could also attach them probably here or here, if we so chose, but I'm following the instructions for now. And he cleans up really nicely. But then I think the original did too, the G1 did too, because the figure was just a byproduct of the jet mode deconstructed. So I think here we've got a really good blend of characterful action figure and alternate jet mode. I think it works super well. And I'm really here for it. And yeah, okay, now we get the Decepticon insignia on the wings. I still would have liked something for the figure. And I know that it's really great that they come with all these paint apps and everything else that they come with. I'm someone that still misses putting on the decals. I was terrible at it. They ended up going all over the shop, but I do miss the autonomy of doing it. But that said, I also really appreciate the fact that they've I'm a complete contradiction, but I really do appreciate the fact that they're on there and I don't have to screw it up. I've got one coming up that I'm going to do, and it's going to require me to put decals on it, so I'm bracing myself to do that video. I've been putting it off because I'm dreading it, but it's coming very soon, and well, all I'll say is it's a big old Power Master from old school Power Master. That's what I'm going to say. Some of you probably seen the photo of it in my Instagram, but yeah, so you know what's coming. So this has been Starscream. I love him. I love the set. I love the accessories. I'm a real fan of what they've given him to make him a leader class figure in terms of these additional parts. They can be stored on and around and in the throne, if that's how you want to present them. All in all, a fantastic figure, a really excellent entry into the range. I fully appreciate that those of you who caught the Earthrise are a bit cross or a bit peeved that it's not there's no more retooling to make it a bit more cinematically accurate, but the colour scheme is what needed to change, really, given the quality of the figure already. So I get that. So maybe you've not had a chance to have a look at it and you're reconsidering whether or not you want to pick this up because maybe you didn't get the Earthrise. Hopefully this video has helped you make that decision, and if so, whether that decision is get it or don't get it, you could like the video just because that really means the world to me, really helps the channel keep going. And whilst you're doing that, why not subscribe to the channel as well, because again, that really does help keep me going and enables me to bring you more peculiar videos like this one, where you can sit at home and watch somebody who should know better messing around with toys and lamenting their missing childhood. Well, I'm hoping it's a bit more than that, but if this is your first video, that might be what you're thinking, so apologies if it is. So yeah, thanks very much for sticking around for about the last 20 minutes or so. This has been Coronation Starscream from the Studio Series 86 range, figure number 12 from Takara Tomy, as part of the Transformers Generations line. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and you have been a truly wonderful audience spending this time with me. I very much appreciate it. I do hope to see you in a future video, and all that is left for me to say is to remember that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.